Turning to your forecast now as we track a potential tropical storm impacting the Carolinas.
That's right. You're taking a live look right now at downtown Wilmington, where a lot of this system is moving through. Chris joins us once again with the latest on how it's going to impact us. Chris?
Well, first, let's iron out the name. This is not the greatest name. Potential Tropical Cyclone 8 is heading towards the Carolinas. The reason why that we even have that terminology is if there is a storm that potentially could be named before landfall, it's going to be a potential tropical cyclone. And there's a chance, just because this thing is so disorganized, that it might not find its absolute center of circulation. So it might just be a really strong low pressure system, but there is still a shot of becoming a tropical depression or tropical storm Helene would be the technical name here over the next 3 hours before the center of circulation does indeed make landfall. Another note, it's really from Wilmington to our friends that are just north thereof, like really about a 60-mile stretch from Wilmington further off towards north here in North Carolina. There's a chance for tornadoes because these bands have enough circulation, enough wind shear that we could actually have some severe weather problems outside of the winds that are getting up to about 50 miles per hour. So right now you can see that general track is going to make landfall, I would say, over the next 4 or 5 hours. Once it gets to our doorstep, that's why about the middle of the afternoon, it's pretty much going to be done. I think it's just going to be a remnants of the system. If it does get named, high temperatures today, not really moving too much. Temperatures getting into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. But this sky that you're seeing off in the background, that's what we have all day long. So it's not a good looking forecast. Our weather aware window, I had that 4 to 4, but I think some of the worst wind impacts that we're going to have is anywhere really between about 8 to 6 o'clock. Let's call it really about 8 o'clock that things really get kicking into high gear. I think that's where we have the heaviest rain, the strongest winds into the early morning hours. On top of that, the biggest issue is going to be some of those down trees. How much rain is going to fall? Well, it looks like the system's going to weaken as it gets a little bit closer to us. So it's the further east you go that we're going to have some of the heavier rain. I think you could have up to 5+ inches for some locations. But for us, it looks like up to about 2 for the Charlotte area, greater Charlotte area in general, and then as much as 3, 4, say, over in Richmond County that I think is going to see some of the heaviest rainfall. Here's what it looks like right around 4 o'clock. So opening up our window of opportunity for some heavier rain. You're going to see some heavier rain rates. It's going to be tough to drive in this. Maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning could come along with this, but you notice off towards the west, not much happens during the afternoon, just light to moderate rain throughout the course of the day. That heavier rain will continue to expand through the evening hours, and then once the center of circulation gets to us, I think the wind gusts are going to peak anywhere between about 11 p.m. to about 3 a.m. At that point, the winds look to be the strongest, so we will still have a chance for some down trees through the overnight, so just be aware that that's going to be a possibility. So our wind advisory officially starts at 2 p.m. today, goes until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, or pretty much the first 2 hours into your Tuesday. Here's what those wind forecasts are going to look like to conclude the day. You're seeing gusts as high as about 45 miles per hour by about 8 o'clock. You're seeing anywhere from about 30 to 35 by about 11 o'clock. And then once this thing is really unraveling, heading through the morning, wind gusts only as much as, I would say, 20 miles per hour heading into your Tuesday afternoon. Our rainfall chances after that, we don't really have much. I think it's widespread today, widespread, let's call it really early tomorrow. Then it becomes scattered over the next couple of days, and then we'll still keep an isolated to a spotty shower around, but the forecast does get a little bit better. So no day is going to be like what we have today. Temperatures either side of 70 degrees over the next 2, back to the upper 70s on Wednesday, but then really actually picture perfect weather back to the lower 80s Thursday, Friday, heading into the weekend. So again, stay weather aware, especially later on this evening into the first hours of tomorrow.